Today we are going to see about the structure of the dicot seed. Okay, ma? So you have studied that after fertilization. Okay, ma? After fertilization, what happens? After fertilization, the embryo is formed. From the embryo, the fruit is formed. So you have studied that ovary. Okay, ma? You have studied that the ovary will change to fruit. The ovary will change to the fruit, and the ovule, which is seen inside, it will change. Okay, ma? The ovule will change into what? Seed. The ovule will change into seed. Here you have studied that this is funicle. You have studied that this is funicle. So funicle is attached to the ovary. Here the funicle is attached to the ovary. Okay, ma? So if you see a seed, you can see a scar-like structure. You can see a scar-like structure, and this is the place where the seed is attached to the ovary. Okay, ma? This is the place where the seed is attached to the ovary with the help of the funicle. So this scar is called as helium. The funicle disappears and it leaves a scar. Okay, ma? It leaves a scar, and the scar is called as helium. Down to this helium, you can see a small hole, small opening, that is called as what? Micropyle. Okay, ma? So you have studied that this place has a micropyle, a small opening in the ovule. Okay, ma? This is called as what? Micropyle. Here in the seed, you will be having a small opening, and the opening is called as what? Micropyle. With the help of this small hole only, the water, air will enter into the seed. This seed has a thick outer covering called seed coat. It is having a thick outer coat called seed coat. Okay, ma? And this seed coat is developed from the integument. You have studied that this is the integument. The seed coat is developed from the integument. The outer coat is called as testa, and it is very hard, very thick. Next layer, it is the thin layer, and it is tegma. So the dicot seed will have two layers. The outer covering is the thicker one, and it is called as testa, and the inner one is thin membrane, and it is called as what? Tegmen. Pea plant, the tegma and testa are fused. Two cotyledons are laterally attached to the embryonic axis. Here this is the two cotyledon, and this is the embryonical axis. This two cotyledon is attached to the embryonical axis. The portion of the embryonical axis projecting beyond the cotyledon is called as radicle or embryonic root. The other end of the axis is called as embryonic shoot, is the plumule. Above the embryonical axis, we will have epicotyle. Below the embryonical axis, we will have the hypocotyle. Okay, ma? So this epicotyle terminates with plumule, and hypocotyle terminates with radicle. Now we are going to see about the structure of a monocot seed. Here you are going to see a oryza seed, that is a paddy seed. It is a one-seeded thing, and it is called as caryopsis. Paddy is one-seeded, and it is called as caryopsis. It is called as caryopsis. And each seed is remain enclosed by a brownish husk, which is consist of glomules, which is consist of glomules, and it is arranged in two rows. It is arranged in two rows. The seed coat is brownish membrane, and it is closely adhered to the grain. The seed coat is brownish, and it is closely adhered. Adhered means attached to the grain. The endosperms form the bulk of the grain. The endosperm form the bulk of the grain, and it is the storage tissue, It is separated from the embryo. Endosperm is separated from the embryo by a thin layer called as epithelium. Embryo is small, and it consists of a one shield-shaped cotyledon, and it is called as scutellum. And it is called as what, ma'am? Scutellum. Here we will have a plumule, and just opposite to that you will be having the radicle. Here the plumule is protected by a thin layer. It is protected by a thin layer called coleoptile. Okay, ma? Here the plumule is covered by a thin protective layer called coleoptile. At the same time, the radicle also will have root cap. Root cap will protect the tip of the root. Here, the root radicle is covered by coleorhiza. Coleorhiza is the outer covering of the radicle. The scutellum supplies the growing embryo with food material, and it is absorbed from the endosperm with the help of the epithelium. Reproduction involving in fertilization of a flower is called as amphimix. Is called as what, ma'am? Amphimix. If the flower is involving in fertilization, that is union of a male and female flower, then it is called as what? Amphimix. If in the reproduction, if does not involve in the union of male and female gamete, then it is called as apomix. Apomix means if the reproduction does not involve in the union of the gamete. Here the apomix was introduced by Winkler in the year 1908. He told that it is the substitution method for sexual reproduction. Well-known scientist named Maheshwari in the year 1950 classified the apomix into two types. They are recurrent and non-recurrent. Next is classified into two types. They are recurrent and non-recurrent. And recurrent is again classified into vegetative reproduction and agamospermy. Non-recurrent apomix. It is a haploid embryo sac developed after meiosis, and it develops into an embryo without fertilization. Vegetative reproduction. It means plant reproduce by any part other than the seed, then it is said to be vegetative reproduction. Example for that, bulbous, bulb, runner and sucker. Agamospermy. It refers to the process by which embryos are formed by eliminating meiosis and syngamy. Syngamy means fusion of the male and female gamete is called as syngamy. Recurrent apomix. It is divided into two types, vegetative reproduction and agamospermy. Agamospermy is again divided into three types, adventive embryony, diplospory, epospory. Adventive embryony. Adventive embryony. An embryo arises directly from the diploid sporophytic cell, either from the nucellus or integument. It is also called as sporophytic budding because gametophytic phase is completely absent. Embryoni are found in citrus and mangifera. Diplospory. It is otherwise called as generative epospory. A diploid embryo sac is formed from the megaspore mother cell without a regular meiotic division. Epospory. Megaspore mother cell undergoes the normal meiosis and 4 megaspores formed, and this megaspore will gradually disappear. A nucellular cell becomes activated and develops into a diploid embryo sac. This type of apospory is called as somatic apospory. Polyembryony. Polyembryony means occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed is called as polyembryony. And this polyembryony was first observed in an orange fruit, and it was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in the year 1719. Polyembryony is classified into four categories: cleavage of polyembryony, formation of embryo by cells of the embryo sac other than egg, development of more than one embryo sac within the same ovule, activation of the some sporophytic cell of the ovule. Parthenocarpic fruit. Here, as mentioned before itself, the ovary will change into fruit and the ovule will change into seed. In this type of fruit, here this fruit-like structure is developed without the act of fertilization. So such fruits are called parthenocarpic fruit. Here the fruits will not have the seed. Next, classified the parthenocarpic fruit into three types. They are genetic parthenocarpic fruit, chemically induced parthenocarpic fruit, and environmental parthenocarpic fruit. Genetic parthenocarpic. Parthenocarpic fruit arises due to the hybridization or mutation. Mutation means the sudden change in the chromosome. Example, citrus. Next one is chemically induced parthenocarpic fruit. Here, application of the growth promoting substance is added to the plant. The growth promoting substance is like auxin and gibberellin. They will induce the parthenocarpic fruit. Next one is environmental parthenocarpic fruit. Environmental conditions like frost, fog, low temperature, high temperature, etc. induces the parthenocarpy. For example, the low temperature for 3 to 19 hours will induce the parthenocarpy in pear plant. The seedless fruit have great significance in horticulture. The seedless fruits have great commercial importance. Seedless fruits are useful for the preparation of jam, jelly, sauce, fruit drinks, etc. High proportion of the edible part is available in parthenocarpic fruits due to the absence of seeds.